Well, hello, boys and girls. How are you? I am so happy to be with you today. And of course, we are going to do a science lesson. That's what we always do together. So, are you ready? Are you ready for science? Well, ready or not, here we go. The last few lessons that we did together, we talked about, we discussed, we explored erosion. Remember, erosion, weathering, and how landforms change on our planet due to the wind and the water and the ice, and how the particles get broken down into smaller pieces, and over time landforms change. Well, we are moving to something pretty different. Okay? What do you think we're going to talk about today? What do you think our lesson is going to be about today? Well, let me show you the learning target. So this is our learning target. I can explain what light, sound, and ocean water have in common and how they travel. Okay, so I can explain what light, sound, and ocean water have in common and how they travel. So that is our learning target, our clear learning target. By the time we finish this lesson, you will be able to explain what light, sound, and ocean water have in common, and how light and how sound and how ocean water move, how they travel around, okay? So I want you to take a few minutes, okay? I want you to take about maybe 5-6 minutes. I want you to pause the lesson in a moment. And in your notebooks, in your science notebooks, I want you to just from your head, okay? From your brain, using your brain, what do you think that sound, light, and ocean water, what do you think that they have in common? Okay? And there was one word in the learning target that will give you a little clue. All right? So, sound, light, and ocean water. Okay? So pause the video, pause the lesson, and go to your notebooks and write a little bit about what you think that these three things have in common. Okay? So what did you write down? What does sound, light, and ocean water have in common? Well, I don't know what you wrote down, but your teachers will. What do you think? Color? Smell? What do they have in common? Do you come up with anything? Well, now I'm going to give you a little bit more of a clue, okay? Instead of having you just look at those words, I'm going to show you a diagram of sound, a diagram of light, and a diagram of ocean water. And I am going to ask you the same question, okay? Let me show you what document you are supposed to open. You are going to open a document that is titled Sound, Light, and Ocean Waves, okay? You're going to open that document. It looks like this, okay? So it has a diagram of sound, a diagram of light, and a diagram of ocean waves. You see it? So what I want you to do is I want you to open that document. I want you to look carefully at all of those three diagrams, and I want you to answer the same question. Same question that you just answered, okay? Now I want you to answer a little bit longer because you have a little bit more information. What does ocean water, sound, and light, what do they have in common? Okay, so look at all three diagrams, and for about 6 or 7 minutes in your notebooks, explain how are light, ocean water, and sound, how are they the same? What do they have in common? So did you notice what each diagram had in common? Did you see? I really wanted, I really would love to listen to all your answers, but I am sure that you are very observant, and I know that you realized what each diagram had in common. So what is it? What was it? That's right. They all showed squiggly lines, right? Like this, going up and down, up and down, up and down. And we call those, what do we call them? That's right, we call them waves. So light, sound, and ocean water, they have waves. But what are all those waves about? Well, if we go back to the learning target, you will see that it says at the very end, it says what they have in common and how they what? How they travel. So that's right. Sound travels in waves, and light travels in waves, and the ocean water moves in waves. That's how they travel, in waves. But you know what? That's not enough. We need to find out more about waves. How is this deal that sound travel in waves and that light travel in waves? Let's find out a little bit more about this. So, our source of light is the sun, right? According to what we just saw in those diagrams, that light from the sun travels all the way to the earth in waves. And when we hear a sound like music, or a pencil fall on the floor, or paper being wrinkled, or a baby crying, that sound is also traveling in waves. And most of us, or many of us, have seen the ocean water moving also in waves, right? So let's find out a little bit more about this. I want you to click on a link for a video that is titled Sound and Light Traveling Video, okay? So I want you to click on that and I want you to watch that. And as you watch it, I want you to pay very close attention to how this business of sound and light traveling in waves works. So pause this lesson and watch the video, paying attention to how is it that sound and light travels in waves. Pretty cool demonstration about how sound and light travels in waves. Something that I want to tell you is that in order for sound to travel, it needs a medium. For example, sound travels through the air. Sound travels through water. Sound travels through a solid. Okay? So sound needs a medium. Those three things, okay? Air, a solid, or water, those are mediums. Sound needs those to travel through. Light doesn't need that. Light can travel in space where there is no air. Okay? But it still travels in waves. Okay? It still travels in waves. We don't see them, but they are there. So, when we talk and somebody listens on the other side of the room, when we talk in one corner of the room or in the kitchen, and somebody's in the room and they can listen to us, that sound that came from this source, the mouth, travels in waves to the other side. Or when the light bulb is lit, when the switch is turned on, that light is traveling through waves. Or when you can listen to the radio, when you can listen to the radio, that sound is traveling through waves. It can travel long distances. Now I want you to watch another short video, and this one is on ocean waves, okay, because I want to include that there as well, and how they are formed and how they moved. So the video is titled Ocean Waves Video. So click on that and watch it, paying attention as to how that water moves in waves, okay? So now that you know a little bit more about water and light and sound and how they travel, I want you to take a few minutes, okay, and in your notebooks, I want you to explain how they travel. Now you have more information, okay? So take about 7 or 8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to write a paragraph in your notebooks about how sound and light and the ocean water, how they travel, okay? So take a few minutes and explain in your notebooks how they travel, because remember, that is our learning target. What do those things have in common and how do they travel? All right? Explain a little bit more, and if you have to look at the diagrams again, you can look at them again, but it is your job now, in your own words, to explain how water and sound and light travel. So I don't know if you realized, and you included in your explanation, that those waves are energy. They're carrying energy from one place to another, okay? Sound energy, or light energy, or water energy. They're carrying energy from one place to another. Okay, we're going to explore a little bit more. And for next lesson, okay, so I want you to finish the lesson today by having you think about this. How would you define, what would be the definition of a wave? What would be the definition of a wave? So think about that, and we're going to start our next lesson specifically answering that question, or the target is going to be trying to come up with a definition for a wave, okay? So we're going to look at what is a wave, and also how is a sound wave and a light wave and an ocean wave different? So now we looked at how they were the same, but how are they different, okay? So let's look at the learning target one more time to make sure that we accomplish that target for this lesson. So the learning target, I can explain what light, sound, and ocean water have in common. So we were able to explain that and how they travel. So we were also able to explain that. So we did reach that target, okay? And if you didn't quite understand everything, you're gonna have to go back through those diagrams and watch the videos again. But I think that you got it. So thank you for joining me today for this science lesson. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Have an awesome day. And remember that science is everywhere. Look for it, okay? Bye-bye.